Hello, I'm Paul Peterson, and welcome to Aging Well in LA. You are looking at a piece of statuary here in an island of tranquility at the Los Angeles Jewish Home. This is a remarkable place and one of the best kept secrets in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Jewish Home is the largest provider of comprehensive senior services in our area. It's really remarkable. They serve about 1,200 residents and outpatients, and then another 500 people in their outreach program. And it's, when I say full service, I mean it. Just some of the things that we'll be talking about today. Independent living, assisted living, rehabilitation services, very important, Alzheimer's disease and dementia care, and, of course, hospice care as well. And I look forward to introducing you to this treasure here in Los Angeles. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back from the Los Angeles Jewish Home. Today we're in Reseda at the Los Angeles Jewish Home. This is a remarkable facility, Molly.
I'm glad that you were able to see it. We're pretty proud of what we have here. And this, where we are, is one of our 2 campuses.
This is a centennial year for the Los Angeles Jewish Home, 100 years of service.
100 years of beginning with 5 people and growing. This last year we served 2,600 people in Los Angeles.
2,600. Well, now, this particular facility in Reseda is really quite large. How many residents are here?
We have capacity to house on our campuses not quite 1,000 individuals. Mm-hmm. But we do a number of programs where people can come in for a short stay. Yes. So we do rehabilitation. Last year we served almost 900 people who came here for a hip fracture, right, or a fall or a heart attack, and they stayed for 2 weeks and then went home. We also operate the newest and the best geriatric psychiatric hospital in LA, and it's a very lovely 10-bed unit, mm-hmm, but we served almost 500 people who came for about 7 or 8 days and again went home.
You have a wide variety of services here, beginning with the residential program, which I assume is voluntary, that families bring mom and dad who are up there to get that special kind of community care that a place like the Los Angeles Jewish Home can provide. But you also have hospice care down at the other end of the spectrum.
The Los Angeles Jewish Home is known for quality care. Mm-hmm. So we have a long waiting list to get in, and it can be 2 to 3 years before someone can actually gain admission to the home.
I see.
We started the hospice program 9 years ago because as CEO and as staff members here, we all felt that we had to do something for people who called in crisis and said, "What do you mean my father has a month and there's no place for him to be?" So we did hospice last year, served about 900 people who live in the community.
This institution couldn't exist without the charitable instincts of the large and considerate and caring Jewish community. I mean, they have put so much into this facility and places like City of Hope. How often are your givers able to come here and actually see what their dollars are doing?
We invite everyone to come and see the work of the home, and yes, we welcome visitors. We try very hard to reach out to our donors and acknowledge their many gifts. Everything we do at Jewish Home is a partnership with a donor. Mm-hmm. And I cannot think of a program that we have done here that did not depend upon philanthropy to see a need and realize that we could be the answer to that need, mm-hmm, and help us get there. Big and small, every donor is important to us, And you are right, 100 years of philanthropy has allowed the home to serve thousands.
I think people have to appreciate how all-inclusive the services you render are, because the needs are varied, but when you look at the whole population, there's a certain pattern to it. The broken hip that leads to a disability, that leads to non-medical in-home care, and then suddenly the next level of care. Are you able to get out into the community and explain to them, look, this is going to happen. The needs are going to be there?
What we provide is usually annually we do a series of lectures on caregiving and getting ready for changes. We happen to do a lot of programs inside the home, but we welcome the community. The Arthritis Foundation does a program here they call Tweaks and Hinges, an exercise class for people who have arthritis like me.
Right.
We also have a program with the Stroke Association for stroke survivors, and we welcome people from the outside who want to go to those classes.
Molly, could you explain to us this new PACE program? It sounds very exciting.
We're very excited about PACE. It stands for Program for All-Inclusive Care of the Elderly. Here at the Jewish Home, it will be called the Brandman Centers for Senior Care. It is an opportunity for us to take all the services that we would normally provide in residence and make them available to seniors who live in their own homes in the community. So physician care, physical, speech, occupational therapy, a meal service to pick people up, bring them here on site to see the doctor, to have a meal, to have a nap, have a shower, help with bathing, take a little afternoon break and have lunch with others, and then go home at the end of the day. We think that this allows individuals to stay out of hospitals and out of nursing homes unless they're truly needed, and for family members to provide that support to keep somebody in their own home as long as possible, and hopefully for the rest of their lives. The PACE program is going to be open in mid-September, and I'm very, very pleased that Arnie Posick, who helped me create this program as Brandman Centers here at the home, is waiting to give you a tour downstairs.
Welcome to the Los Angeles Jewish Home's newest program, the Brandman Centers for Senior Care. Come on in. PACE participants will enter through the lobby area, where they'll be checked in by the receptionist. This entire project was made possible by the generous donation of Joyce Brandman and her late husband, Saul. Let's go inside. So after participants are checked in by the receptionist, they come into the activity area. You have the activity, sort of socialization area, where meals are served, and also there are different types of activities, discussion groups, games take place. Now we're entering the clinic area. We have a doctor's office here. Next we have a dental office, fully equipped. We have a waiting room just over here. And we also have a treatment room, which will allow us to do simple procedures like intravenous hydration, that type of thing. Just in front of us, we have the nurse's station, and it's positioned in such a way that the nurse can really see what's going on throughout the clinic area. We're now in the conference room, which is a very important part of PACE. Each morning, an interdisciplinary team made up of a physician, nurses, home health aides, dietitians, social worker, physical therapists, and transportation coordinators meet to discuss the individuals under their care. As I mentioned in the beginning, PACE is really designed for people who need nursing home level of care, even though they continue to live in their own homes or apartments. So the interdisciplinary team focuses very closely on day-to-day case management of the participants. This room is dedicated to physical therapy, which in PACE is a very important program What's unusual is that we may have some participants whom get physical therapy once a week, once every couple of weeks for the rest of their lives, which is unusual in healthcare. And the reason we do this is because it helps them maintain a higher physical functioning level. This is our quiet room. If participants feel that they're tired and need a rest, they can come in here for a half hour, an hour. We're now in the patio area where participants can come and relax, get some fresh air as they wish.
At the LADWP, our eyes have always been on the future. From the days of William Mulholland and Ezra Scattergood to today, we've built LA, and we're doing it again. We're putting your money to work, protecting our water supply, and upgrading our infrastructure. We're greening our grid, innovating, and finding new ways to save our customers money. We're the LADWP, rooted in our history and focused on the future.
An emergency can happen at any time. Wait! That's why you need to be prepared. Put together an emergency kit with food, water, a first aid kit, a flashlight, radio, and some tools. You're never too old to prepare. Get the message? Be prepared.
Now we're joined with Paul Stark, who is a resident here at the Los Angeles Jewish Home. Paul, welcome. It's good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you.
Thank you. Now, how did you come to this place?
Well, unfortunately, my wife died a couple years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul.
I was depressed.
Of course you were.
And my kids were very concerned with me, seeing me depressed, because they never did see me like that.
Yes.
So my son spoke to me, and he had already seen the home, and so he talked me into coming here and taking a look. And so I took the tour. I did look at the facility very closely, because this was serious. It wasn't a ticket to Disneyland or anything.
No, it's not.
So I finally told my son that I would do that, and so he made arrangements for me to fill out an application, and I did.
Did you take to the facility right away, or were the friendships the most important?
I was depressed when I came in the door. By the end of the day, I can honestly tell you that I was no longer depressed. I was just shocked at how people just smiled and said hello and what have you. And then by the second day, I went into the dining room, and there was hardly anybody there at the time. And I just walked around and walked to the first person I saw, and I said, "Hello, my name is Paul, and I'm new here."
I'm a newbie.
Yeah. And she smiled at me and just took me in. And to this day, she's my first friend.
Oh, isn't that something?
Anyhow.
Now, how about the staff? Do you get the sense that they honestly have your best interests at heart?
Yes, not only have they best interest in heart, but when I walk in the areas, any one of them that see me almost will call me by name, which I at first was surprised, but now when I see the staff people, and they pass by and they ask me, they call me by name and ask me how I'm doing and what have you, and it's sincere.
I understand.
And I can't, sometimes I still don't, don't get used to it.
Oh, but that's very good. Now, how about with your son? Is he able to come and visit with you here and share a meal with you?
Oh, I have an interesting situation. I have 4 children. And we have as you say, I'm an Orthodox Jew,
Yes.
so I like to go to the Orthodox temple, if you want to call. And so the deal is that they come and get me every Friday, take me to their house, and I daven at their temple, and I see, his whole family. And by the way, I have a large family, so. Anyhow,
and you're able to stay kosher here at the aging
yes,
home.
I am. I am.
And that's very important.
Yes, it is. I couldn't have come here if I didn't.
Right, I understand.
So then the next week, my other son will pick me up, and then the next week my daughter, and the next week my daughter.
Lucky you got him trained.
They did that, fortunately for me.
Paul, I so
Yeah.
apologize, but our time is short and we
Sure.
have to break away. It was wonderful visiting with you.
Well, it was wonderful visiting
it's
with
really
you.
great to see you. We're here to visit with Esther Berlin, who has been a resident here at the Los Angeles Jewish Home for 9 years.
9 happy years.
Oh, really? And you're a contributor to the newsletter that's published here?
Oh, yeah, I'm on the board for the High Journal.
Yeah. Who recruited you? Did someone come up and say, Esther, you got to tell these stories about Tennessee?
Well, it was just mutual. I had a story written about me when I came, and I felt that I was sitting with I live in the cluster house, which is wonderful. It's a house with 4 ladies, and we sit over breakfast and talk. And my friend Sue, every morning, listened to me tell stories about Tennessee. And she'd laugh and make a comment. Oh, that's so funny, Esther. You want to sit down and write some. I said, no, I'm not a writer. So, of course, that's just what I did, because it brought back nice memories to me, too. So every afternoon, I'd sit and write. And then I bring it before the board. And they approved of them, and they were published.
How did you come to find this wonderful facility?
Well,
did you have a need, or you wanted to be with
well,
people?
I had an accident with the car, and I got hurt a little, but it was all right. But then I started having vision problems trying to get the car into the garage.
Oh, boy.
And I said to myself, I can't live here in San Diego and not be able to drive the car. And I said to my children, which they were shocked when, I said, listen, kids, I think that I need a little help. And I don't know where to go. Well, Andy said, you have to move near me. You'll have to come up out of San Diego because I want to be there. I said, sure, that'll be fine. So he spoke to his rabbi, and the rabbi said, the only place you should go is the Jewish Home for the Aging in L.A. Well, that was fine with me. Yeah. So my daughter flew in, Andy, we all met, and we came over and looked. And I must be truthful to tell you this. The first thing I asked when we got out of the car is, do you play Mahjong here? I did. Well, I said, I'm in. I didn't even go to look at a room or anything yet. I said, I'm in, because I really love to play Mahjong.
Wow.
So anyhow, that was the beginning of a wonderful, wonderful experience. Really wonderful.
Well, what are some of the other facilities you take advantage of? Do you go on day trips and things like that?
Oh, this home has the best in activity. I tell you, you couldn't get better if you went. And even if you spent a lot of money, but in the morning there's about 5 activities that you can choose from.
Right.
Comes the afternoon, there's also 4 or 5 activities. Like today, I was at Current Events this afternoon, right after lunch. The mornings I take tours. I've been taking tours for over 8 years here, showing people around. And I must say that everybody I take on a tour most of them come to live here, and it makes me feel so good
and
to
well,
see
it
them.
should.
Yeah.
Gosh, I've so enjoyed this visit, Esther. Time is fleeing along here.
I enjoyed it too. I just want to say to anybody, if you're thinking of coming to a home, don't hesitate. The food is good. You have no cooking, you have no washing, you have no dishes to do, and it's relaxing. And it's wonderful for everybody. Everybody enjoys it. Look at this garden. It's like we live out in the garden all the time. Where could you get that?
I agree with you. I would say that's a pretty good advertisement for the Los Angeles Jewish Home, wouldn't you? Bill, it has been my experience that people don't know how important hospice care can be for their loved one.
Well, you know, that's right, Paul. I'm administrator of Skirball Hospice.
Yeah, Skirball Hospice.
Skirball Hospice, which is a program of the Los Angeles Jewish Home.
Mm-hmm.
We were founded about 8 years ago as the Jewish Home started to reach more out into the community and provide services to folks beyond the four walls here at the world-famous Jewish Home.
Mm-hmm.
Hospice care is a unique program for those individuals who might be facing a situation that is at the end of life. They've received news from their healthcare provider that they're in a situation where traditional medicine is not going to be able to provide any further assistance to them.
Right.
And so they are at a point in their life where they realize it's more important to have a quality of life toward the end of life than further medical treatment.
Right, and it's the counseling for the family members who are going to be left behind that I found to be the most critical component, because hospice care workers can say things that sometimes for family members are just, they're too uncomfortable or too emotionally charged, or maybe the family's not listening to you.
Well, all that can be true.
Yes.
Exactly right. And Paul, we look at the entire family, not only the patient who might be on hospice care,
critically important,
but all the family members are really the unit of care that we provide support to. So direct family members, and that's very important to us because for someone at the end of life, having family and friends close to them provides more comfort than anything else.
Right, and I like the idea that our seniors who are close to the end of their time on this earth are aging in place. They're in their home, and so I'm sure you're able to get to the homes and be able to provide comfort and support and maybe bring up those difficult issues. You know, are your affairs in order?
Right. Most of the care we provide is in people's private homes.
Yes.
Some of it might be in a skilled nursing facility, like the Jewish Home, but over 3/4 of the people we care for is care delivered in their private home. It's very important for folks to be surrounded by the things they've grown up with, the things they cherish. We provide that extra layer of support that oftentimes, as you say, families that are scattered around the country may not have right here and close. And so we do that through a team effort. We have a physician, a nurse, a social worker, a spiritual counselor, which in our case is a rabbi, that brings together elements of the family situation that may not be present to provide that support and comfort.
Well, I'm just thinking of medications. They become very intimidating down towards the end, and you're never sure, is this the correct dose? Who do I call? It can be frightening.
It can be, and that's one of the things that at hospice we coordinate. So our physician, who's board certified in hospice and palliative medicine, works with a family's primary care physician to put together a medication regime that will provide comfort to someone regardless of the symptoms they may be facing. And of course, our nurses visit periodically, 2 or 3 times a week, to check in on the patient and make sure that they're taking all their medications properly. And then there's always a 24-hour number that's available anytime, day or night, to call, and at the other end of the phone is a friendly voice from one of our nurses to help with those medication issues.
And I don't say this lightly. The spiritual component when it comes to end-of-life issues, it's really very important. People need to be, they need a sense of peace. And I think that's why hospice care is so important. Our final guest on today's show as we visit the Los Angeles Jewish Home is Bonnie Polishuk, who is the Director of Marketing and has really facilitated a wonderful visit. What a gem these two places are, Bonnie.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here, and thank you for being here with us.
Please, the pleasure is ours. I wondered if you could give us a sense of the many programs. We've seen so many things, but perhaps a review of the things that are available to the residents here.
Well, the Jewish Home provides a full continuum of care for seniors. We have everything from independent living in our new continuing care retirement community, which is Fountain View at Eisenberg Village.
Right.
We have residential care, assisted living, skilled nursing, Alzheimer's and dementia care.
Important.
We have Skirball hospice and palliative care at the other end of the spectrum. We're renowned for our quality of care. It's the quality of care, and it's reflected in the quality of life for our residents, in their well-being, in their smiling faces, in their enjoyment. We add years to life and life to years.
But it was wonderful to see the genuine pleasure that the two residents that we visited with have in being here. It was almost a sense of relief. Oh my gosh, I found a comfortable place.
Well, what happens with a lot of seniors is they're living at home. They're living alone. Often their spouse has passed away. Sometimes they don't have children, or their children don't live near here. So they're very lonely. And they come to the Jewish Home, and we provide not only exceptional medical care, but we also provide a social life for them.
Right.
We provide education. We provide culture. They can start their day with yoga or Tai Chi. They can go from there to a musical program. They can have current events. They can spend time in arts and crafts, creating knitting, blankets, paintings. They have 3 meals a day, 3 wonderful, nutritious, kosher meals a day. We have special programming. We have dances. There are even people here that find romance. We have several special events through the year, welcoming, particularly for the families, and intergenerational programs. Our Mother's Day event is wonderful.
Oh, that must be special.
I mean, we have 4 and 5 generations, and there are kids and balloons and mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers. It's amazing.
Fantastic. Bonnie, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us. And thank you for being with us here at the Los Angeles Jewish Home today. It's a remarkable place. I recommend you come out and take a look.
Aging Well in LA is presented by the Los Angeles City Department of Aging, whose sole purpose is to provide community-based services to seniors and their family caregivers to maintain their loved ones' independence so they can age with dignity and respect. The Los Angeles City Department of Aging was recently presented with 2 Innovation Awards and an Aging Achievement Award by the National Association of Area Agencies on Aging. These awards recognize the department's programs that showcase innovative and successful aging services. The programs honored are the Exergamers Wellness Club, a partnership with Microsoft Corporation that also garnered a top prize in innovation, and Project Care, a program matching city employees with seniors in need during the holiday season. The Los Angeles Wellness Centers Network was recognized with an Aging Achievement Award. These awards recognize the Los Angeles Department of Aging's efforts to improve the quality of life for seniors in the Los Angeles area.